good to go. All of you are connected with Wi-Fi and you can do the registration process meanwhile. So, good morning again. So, my name is Krishna. So, I'm part of Boston IT Solutions India Private Limited. We are basically technology partners with Intel and Intel software team. And also, I am an oneAPI instructor from past 2.5 years. So I basically have, when oneAPI was introduced in India, we have been part of oneAPI program. We actively develop applications related to machine learning, deep learning, or other software technologies which are related to Python on oneAPI ecosystem. So there are some prerequisites for the workshop, just in case for participants who have just joined in and who have just settling down. So in the workshop, we are basically doing an hands-on. After a 15 to 20 minutes of presentation, we'll have hands-on. So for the hands-on, you need to register for DevCloud, that too oneAPI. There are two environments for DevCloud. One basically is edge computing, the other one is oneAPI. So you need to register for oneAPI. Please do ensure you see your URL. It should be like devcloud.oneAPI, not edge.oneAPI. Right? So ensure that you see your URL properly and then redirect yourself. Then you should have little knowledge on machine learning and Python, because we are doing hands-on on deep learning. So any of those things would definitely be help. If you are a very newbie on the machine learning Python, do not worry, you should cope up with that. Just in case, if you don't want to use the oneAPI DevCloud, you can also do a local installation. If you have Anaconda or Miniconda, just follow the oneAPI Conda environment installation. Just type in Google the Conda installation for Intel channel. You need to add the channel, and then you can download all Intel optimized libraries. Right? So that's the prerequisites for the workshop, just in case for people who have just joined in. So the outline is very simple. I'll just walk through. Just in case you're not able to hear me, please do let me know. So we will be talking about what is oneAPI heterogeneous computing and why we require it from a data science perspective than from an other perspective of HPC or other areas. The second one is how to work with DevCloud platform. So we have an welcome IPython notebook which we will be running. Then we'll be running small workloads on training. So we have just changed the data set a little bit. Then we'll be running the DC GANs and the vision transformer. And there's a hackathon which I'll be talking about. There's an event which we are running for all the participants to participate, try to win goodies. And so with that, I'll start. So I'll just very briefly tell, already you have seen my profile. So I've basically working in Boston from past three and a half years. I specialize more in BSFI domain and retail domain and computer vision. So these three domains I would work more, mainly focusing on deep learning and MLOps. So that's where my interest is. So from past 1 year working on MLOps, seeing how we can deploy models. So coming to just first start off with the exciting part of the entire workshop, that's the hackathon which we are running. So for the hackathon, the challenge is we are giving you a video which I've recorded. So it's just some objects, random objects which I've picked from somewhere, and I'll be giving the video as a drive link, and you guys have to download the video. You can use TensorFlow Hub, you can use any of the algorithm. The only thing which we say is run it on DevCloud, download the IPython notebook, and send it to us. Right? So to send the event, so there are more details on the hackathon we'll be displaying on the GitHub link. Also, you will be able to find. We will upload it shortly. So what you have to do is get the video, do an inference, okay, on YOLO, any of the models which you like. Okay, you need to detect the objects. The goal is to get faster inferencing, right? So you need to pick the right algorithm on the oneAPI platform to get that accelerated performance. Right? So it's a very simple event which we are running as hackathon. Okay, you would basically have a day's time to do it. So the submission is basically tomorrow. and you need to come to the Intel booth and basically show us the inferencing, and we will do the evaluation and announce the winners. So it's a very simple event, and also there are instructions. We will basically circulate this so that you guys can participate with that. And to submit, so you need to submit it to Kavita. So Kavita is right here, and before 10 p.m. on 22nd. That's tomorrow. And once you are basically given the submissions, we will announce the results within 4 p.m. And if you basically have won the event, you will be winning the Apple Watch, right? So that's the prize money which we have kept over here. So I hope all of you are excited to win the watch. Let's see how many people would win the watch. With that, just one brief idea about Boston, because most of you would have not heard about Boston. Boston is an UK-based MNC company. So we operate from India, UK, and globally. So we basically are into high-performance computing, AI servers. These are our products which we sell. Right? So we are not part of Boston consortium. So don't relate with BCG with us. We are a different Boston. So whenever you talk about Boston, the general thing is they think we are part of BCG. We are not part of BCG. We are a separate entity. We have the name, common name, but the main product which we sell is basically servers. But mainly AI servers and high performance servers. So HPC servers is our key product which we sell. We are spread across the entire globe. So we basically are present in India in 2 locations, Mumbai and Bangalore. We are basically based out of UK. So we have 3 branches in UK. So that's a very brief idea about Boston. Coming to oneAPI, so let's go on to the main topic. So already in the video you had seen the idea of heterogeneous computing, right? So already as data scientists, all of us basically use, or as an engineers, we use GPUs to accelerate our code. So for vector operations, we run on the hardware. All our algorithms are basically designed on GPUs. Okay? So whichever algorithms we run, they're designed for GPU operations. They're not designed for another architectures. So there are many other architectures or many other ways of running the same idea or the same algorithm in a different way. So that nobody realizes. What we do as data scientists, we do not worry about the programming aspect. We are more worried about problem solving. Right? So what is our main goal is basically to solve the problem. We come only to optimization, cost cutting after the product is in production. Okay? So once the product is in production, we think about cost cutting. How can I accelerate scalability? All these issues come. Right? So once I have the product running, I'll be able to start thinking about, can I accelerate to the next level? Can I get better performance? Can I use small resource on any of my platforms or on the cloud environment, and can I accelerate? So that's the main idea. So we use CPUs, GPUs, data parallelism, model parallelism, all these concepts we try to use so that we can get accelerated performance. And to run on GPU, we have frameworks. Before 5 years, 6 years back, you didn't have frameworks. You had to write on Caffe, Piano, or on CUDA. So these were the programming environments which data scientists, machine learning engineers, deep learning engineers is to develop their algorithms on. And most of the frameworks still use CUDA, right, for GPU acceleration. And what happens, CUDA is only targeting your GPU. Now I can't do the GPU and the CPU parallel accelerations. So for that, again, I need different architectures. So the goal of oneAPI basically, as it says, oneAPI, one code environment for different architectures. Okay. So if I have GPU, FPGA, CPU, can I run the same code on all the architectures? On all the architectures, I want to run the same code, get that accelerated performance. I, as an engineer, have access to different resources at my developer environment. Okay. So that's the main thing. So can we remove that middleware and the framework? So that's the main goal which we are trying to achieve. So that is being achieved through oneAPI product. Okay. So with oneAPI, what you can do basically is write your code on one programming language and target any kind of hardware. So that is what we are trying to do. And it becomes very important because remember that I am talking not at the stage of development of an algorithm. I am talking about after development of an algorithm, what happens? So that's the one key thing which data scientists, machine learning engineers in production do not think much. Nowadays, most of the organizations are adopting that. Okay. Now, this is the main thing which we are trying to solve with the oneAPI software. Okay. Now, as data scientists, we are using Python, right? And all of us know Python is an interpreter. It's not meant to do acceleration, right? And we know that it's an interpreter, not a compiler. So we use frameworks. Generally, all of you use frameworks. Anyone low level? Anyone writes low level? When I say low level, it's like you write on C, Java, right? Basic Python coding. All of us use frameworks, right? Even I use frameworks. So when we use frameworks, the frameworks have different libraries. Okay. So you would have heard about NumPy, Numba. Okay. Numba does your acceleration at the back end. NumPy does it for multi-threading. You have vectorization concept. Then you also have other libraries. Okay. Now what these libraries do, they want to parallelly accelerate the same hardware. So you would say race. Numba wants to accelerate, NumPy wants to accelerate, other frameworks also wants to accelerate, multi-threading. And this becomes a bottleneck because the CPU doesn't know from whom to take the instructions. So you would see a latency. It is in microseconds or milliseconds, but that becomes a latency for the real-time application. When I want to do real-time computation, I need to take large clusters. Okay. Anyone working on clusters over here? Clusters? You're deploying an application on cluster, right? So when you run a big deep learning model, you need more cluster. As you start scaling, your cluster becomes bigger and bigger. So why is that? Because you're running on an suboptimal frameworks which take more resources. Okay, and they don't give you much KPIs which are needed. So that is where oneAPI ecosystem will be very helpful. Where you have different frameworks, write your different frameworks, leave to the oneAPI to decide which library is good to accelerate on your targeted hardware. So there is specific tutorials on the DevCloud so that you can learn about oneAPI essentials. Okay, so that I'll be showing once we do the hands-on part. Now, the main thing within the oneAPI ecosystem is there are two programming environments. One is the data parallel C++, the other one is the Intel distribution of Python. Okay. So the data parallel C++, I'll be just talking about it because Intel distribution of Python will be using a lot, and I'll be talking about the frameworks and the accelerations used in that. So just a 2-minute time so that I can talk about data parallel C++. Anyone from HPC side, data parallel C++ developers on the forum? No, all of you are Python? I think there's one hand at the back. I think 2 people. So that's very nice to see. So main thing now, if you look at any kinds of companies, organizations, they are looking for acceleration on C++. They want to migrate their code from Python probably for better inferencing or better capabilities to C++ kinds of environment. Now data parallel C++ is part of your Cronus group. What it basically does, as it says, data parallelism. So you can do data parallelism with the C++ with the inbuilt libraries. Okay. Now you can control your memory. You can basically control how many cores of CPU you want to run your application on. So that level, micro level of application control is what you get with data parallel C++. So I'm not going to spend much time on data parallel C++, but tell the entire oneAPI ecosystem which drives the entire AI community. Okay. So you would have heard about oneDNN and MKL. Okay. Have you guys heard about oneDNN program or oneDNN? Seen somewhere? Looks familiar? oneDNN. When you run a deep learning algorithm on TensorFlow or PyTorch, you would see a warning or a message saying that accelerating on CPU with oneDNN. Okay. You can just check when you are running Anaconda, you would get that particular message. So oneDNN is incorporated within the TensorFlow and the PyTorch ecosystem. So whatever we run on a normal development, apart from targeting GPUs, when you target GPUs, also you see the same thing, oneDNN acceleration on CPU, because you want more throughput from CPU to the GPU. So acceleration happens with oneDNN by default on your frameworks. The MKL library gives you, mathematical equations which are based on data parallel C++. All this ecosystem libraries which you are seeing are based on data parallel C++. They are not based on C++. Okay. You would instantly see when we run a simple code, the difference between data parallel C++, low level accelerations compared to C++. Okay. So the oneAPI ecosystem is, is being used by a lot of organizations. These are a few organizations which I have listed who are, trying to use oneAPI and develop different kinds of their applications on top of that. Right. So these are some, case studies within the weather forecasting, where they are able to migrate offshore their entire code from GPUs to the CPUs and run only CPU inferencing. Okay. So coming to the oneAPI ecosystem software, so you will be able to see the base toolkit. This is the base software or the starter software, you would say, the oneAPI base toolkit. And within the oneAPI base toolkit, you will basically get C++, that is data parallel C++, and Python applications. You will have all the libraries related to sklearn, pandas, numpy, all those libraries would come. Then you have specific for AI toolkit, which is at the bottom. Then for inferencing, you have openVINO, which is basically an inferencing tool, you would say. Okay. So let's say if you want, you are only worried about edge computing, openVINO is a good tool for you guys to work on openVINO. If you're on deep learning inferencing, you can use the AI analytical toolkit, right? Where you have the frameworks, Intel optimized TensorFlow and Intel optimized PyTorch. If you're on IoT HPC, you also have different tools for them. If you're on video processing, you have the rendering toolkit. So all the toolkits are basically available on DevCloud. So you can register to DevCloud and you will be able to get all the toolkits without any hustle. So you can set up your environment, start developing. It's a very easy way of setup and running. Coming to the support, the software basically is open source, but the thing is, on the open source softwares, there's continuously updation. Okay, you might not get the previous archive softwares. Probably I'm running on Python 3.7. I want relevant libraries of that. I would not get it, right? But on priority support, you would get the old libraries so that you can still actively do the development instead of migrating to the new frameworks where certain functions are depreciated, certain way of applications when we have written, they don't functionalities change. We don't want that. So oneAPI priority support helps you deliver that. Apart from that, you have any kinds of issues during code migration, you want any kind of tech support, you would also get the tech support from the priority support. Right. So if you are using the Parallel Studio, if existing organizations having Parallel Studio or Windows System Studio, Intel System Studio, you can basically upgrade yourself to oneAPI with the priority support. So now I would like to call my colleague. So he's basically going to talk about the Intel Software Innovator program.
Ram, and I'm very glad to have you all here. So we will quickly discuss what is this Intel Software Innovator program, what are all the benefits you have for it, what are all the tracks available over there, can you become an innovator? So all these things will be discussed in this 5 to 7 minutes of time frame that I'm going to take from you. I'm sure you will like it. So the agenda is already conveyed. So if you see this program, this is a very technically connected. You will be connected to all the community members of this great innovator program, and you will have a lot of chance. So to make it very precise, I am associated with this program for the past 7 years. Now I'm part of Intel, so I started my journey with Intel as an Intel innovator. This gives you a lot of access to contents, materials, hardware support, most importantly networking, and you will be equipped with all the leading technology edge tools. And most important point that I would like to convey here is you will get opportunities to talk to people, opportunities to network people, and the process is very simple. So you can apply. There is a set of things that are to be done, and you can become an innovator. And importantly, if you see the benefits, the first point is engineering support. So we get support in terms of you talking to the product teams, Intel fellows, private forums, and software engineers who are working with us for a long time. And early information, you may have to sign an NDA, and we will get you some early information as well, and you get access to our content through an NDA. Intel-based tools and hardware to support innovative projects. So I'll tell you this a little loud because I've been getting a lot of tools, even machines and laptops. They give us, if you propose a very good project idea, and they conduct competitions quite often. So it's a great platform for people to really propose something nice and to get the hardware support, and it is phenomenal. So there are a lot of people who work on this, and this gives a lot of opportunity. Sponsorship, the next very important thing for academicians and the people who work on R&D, and they would like to present their ideas in the key conferences like what we have now. And this program enables you to do that. The complete support for you to present your idea, present your projects in the top forums and conferences is also supported. And showcase opportunities. Yes, nowadays we are showcasing things through our Git, through our LinkedIn and multiple things. And we have our own dev mesh where you can showcase your projects, and we enable you to reach a lot more people, and that gets in as a showcase opportunity for you. And most important point, over and above all this, we recognize people. We give periodic awards, certificates, and benefits coming in your way. So it's pretty easy for you to apply, and I have the link here in front of you. Simplest way to apply is type Intel Software Innovator Program in Google. You will get this link. But otherwise, if you have time, you can probably make a note of it also. So devmesh.intel.com/member programs/apply- for Intel Software Developer Membership. Well, so which track do we have to apply? Do we have any tracks here? I'm an IoT specialist. Can I become IoT innovator? I'm a graphics specialist. Can I become that? Yes, we understand this point, and we have got a technology-focused innovator selection. So you can become an IoT innovator. You can become a oneAPI innovator. You can become a graphics innovator, and you can become a game developer, creator, or PC enthusiast. We call it that way. You can apply and select any one of these options when you are applying. And we have some checkpoints. It is not straightforward though. So you have some checkpoints which are presented here. And to become IoT innovator, the checkpoint is like you need to be certified via the course Introduction to Intel Distribution of OpenVINO Toolkit for Computer Vision Applications. And you can register for this course, and it is free again. So you can go ahead, learn the content, get the certification done. There will be lab sessions for some courses which you need to undergo. Based on that, you can get into that. And we have got oneAPI certification. So we request you to, or require you to go ahead and submit projects in the DevMesh. DevMesh is our project portal. So when you get into DevMesh, I request you all to visit that. It's a wonderful platform for people who wants to learn what is happening all around the Intel technologies and hubs around it. So we have got thousands of projects there in different domains, starting from IoT, Edge, AI, deep learning, machine learning, everything. Even HPC projects are there. There are so many innovators who come over there and present their project with complete code, Git link, the guidelines, everything is presented. So I request you to go ahead and have a look at DevMesh and register yourself as one of the users there. And there, if you submit a project and if it is meeting our requirements, you can apply for oneAPI Innovator as well. We have got a community which is growing very strongly. So there are checkpoints available for that. You need to submit a game project which can run in our platforms very well. So meeting all these criteria for respective technology focus areas, you need to submit the required documents, submit it, and there will be updates to you in your registered email ID based on the process flow. And the most important point is you've got an option to even exhibit your published papers. You can give the links here. If you are not having a project in a video form or something like that, don't worry. If you have a published paper in a very good journal, you can link that over here and we can even look into it. And above all this, if you are a professor who is associated with the university, you can refer the best of the students to become student ambassador for us. So we are giving a lot of opportunities for student ambassadors to be connected with us, and they get tremendous amount of focus. And importantly, they get connected to people. So they can submit their projects, they can get early stage sponsorships from Intel. All those things are happening. And we have many innovators, many student ambassadors, and you can get the list of innovators and student ambassadors from our DevMesh portal. And we have featured projects there. So that projects are the one that are really loved by a lot of people, and your project can get into the featured project list as well. So all these are easy, and you will not need a lot of time for you to do. So I hope you have made a note of the link. If not, you can go to Google, type Intel Software Innovator. The first link would be ours, and you can always reach us out for any help and queries. We'll be more than happy to answer you that. Thank you very much, and looking forward to have you all in the DevMesh. And the people who are eligible to apply for innovatorship and the student ambassadorship, please go ahead and apply. We look forward to onboard you. Thank you.